I'm an incredibly huge fan of Ridley Scott, but if you asked me what my favorite genre of films that he directs is, I'd have to tell you it's sci-fi. Blade Runner and Alien changed the way I looked at sci-fi films. But the Alien franchise in particular is incredibly important to me. Yes, Alien changed the way I looked at sci-fi films, but James Cameron's Aliens changed action sequels forever. Alien 3 has its moments, and Alien Resurrection has some really bright ideas. And then we get to Prometheus, a film that I will defend until my dying breath, a film that I find to be incredibly brilliant, one that poses amazing questions, but gives you enough answers that wants you asking for more. Jones is the name of my cat. My wife and I have bonded over hours and hours of dissecting the Alien universe. This franchise is super important to me. So let's see what I thought about Alien Covenant.
You hear that?
What?
Nothing. No birds. No animals. Nothing.
Alien Covenant is directed by Ridley Scott, and it stars Katherine Waterston, Danny McBride, James Franco, Billy Crudup, and a bunch of other people, especially Mr. Michael Fassbender. Alien Covenant was a film that I was incredibly excited for, and as you've heard me describe in my intro, a film that is incredibly important to me. Going into this film, I was so excited. I watched all of the Blu-rays a ton of times, and I was just oozing with excitement going into the theater. And after 2 hours and 2 minutes, I left disappointed. Now, I'm not gonna start off by just bashing this film and telling you what I did not like about the movie, because it's not the kind of movie that needs to be bashed. I'm going to tell you what I enjoyed about Alien Covenant right off the bat, and then I'll get into things I didn't enjoy. First off, Alien Covenant is a beautifully shot movie. DP Darius Wolski and Ridley Scott craft an amazingly beautiful film, which is not a surprise because all of Ridley Scott's sci-fi films are beautiful. Really, all of Ridley Scott's films are beautiful, but I especially love the cinematography in Prometheus, and some of that cinematography, some really quintessential shots from Prometheus, are shown in Alien Covenant. Yes, the movie was beautifully shot, but it also had an incredible production design, and I thought the CG effects were very effective as well. Now I'm gonna get to my next positive for Alien Covenant, and that is the acting. The acting in this film is incredible. Danny McBride is the standout for me in this movie because I knew that he was a good comedic actor, but now after seeing this film I know that he has the range to be in other movies and other franchises in the future. He can really sink his teeth into a role, and I was very impressed with his character of Tennessee. I also thought that Katherine Waterston was very good in this movie. She brought everything that she needed to bring for her role in this film, and I was very, very impressed by her. I had thought that she was a bit wooden in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I enjoyed her and I enjoyed her character, and I'm very excited to see where her character goes in that movie, but in this film I think she had a bit more to do and a bit more to sink her teeth into, and I was very impressed by her acting. Now, we get to my favorite part of this movie, which is Michael Fassbender's acting. Michael Fassbender is incredible. I can't say enough about Michael Fassbender. He was amazing in Prometheus, and in Alien Covenant he continues that amazingness. He is wonderful in this film. And now I don't feel like this is a spoiler, but it could qualify as a mild spoiler alert. This was involved in the marketing, whether it was in a prologue story or it was in the IMDb page for the film, but Michael Fassbender plays David and also Walter. Now, this is a very interesting part of the film, and something that I really loved about Alien Covenant was the interactions between David and Walter and what those scenes had to say. Again, I'm not going to spoil what those scenes had to say. Now, I want to give this movie a bit more time, but I might put out an analysis for this film because I have a lot to say about Alien Covenant and its ties to Prometheus. Now, the last thing I really liked about Alien Covenant was the xenomorphs. Now, this will lead directly into my negatives because while the xenomorphs are a positive for me because I'm glad every time I get to see the titular aliens, I do think that this movie did not use the aliens that effectively. I do not think that this movie is a good sequel to Prometheus, and I do not think the way it currently stands now, it is a good prequel to Alien. Now, this will change. Ridley Scott states that he wants to make other films in the middle between Alien Covenant and Alien, which is fine with me because there are plenty of questions that need to be answered, and when those films come out, my opinion may inevitably shift about this film because right now I don't think this film is a great addition to the lore, but it will change, I'm sure, when other films flesh this film out. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why did I like Prometheus so much if that didn't flesh out questions? If that didn't flesh out answers? Well, Prometheus posited questions, but it did it in an effective way where I felt that I could answer the questions in my brain. Alien Covenant posits questions that actually confuse me and make me wonder about the lore. Now, I will continue with a question posited by David in this film about the xenomorphs. Now, I will not get into spoilers here, but I don't like the way that this film, I feel, limits the scope of world building. This makes the universe in which Alien exists feel smaller. Now, no spoilers here, but I do feel like this film makes the universe of Alien feel smaller. The world building is not there that much, and while it does create, it also kind of condenses, and it makes a certain aspect of this film very, very confusing, and something that, while I understand what Scott was trying to say, I definitely understand what Scott was trying to say, I just didn't like this aspect that was brought up. Another thing about the aliens in this film that I didn't exactly love was that it takes the tension out of the alien's gestation and life cycle, and it sort of just makes it happen. Now, as I've said, no spoilers here, but I do think that this movie did not have the same level of tension that Alien or even Aliens has at times. This movie was so clearly trying to be Prometheus, Alien, and Aliens mashed into one film that I don't think it actually accomplished being any of those three effectively, and it didn't accomplish being a mashup of those three because it just didn't feel as if it flowed. This movie does have brilliantly shot action sequences, and it has all of the necessary pieces to create a sense of horror, but for me, I didn't feel that horror or that tension because the build-up to those sequences weren't there. The build-up to those sequences wasn't there. Now, the film also had a third act that I felt could have been entirely removed from the film because all it really did was make the film a little longer than I think it needed to be, and it just did a callback, at least to Alien and Aliens, and even Alien Resurrection. And frankly, I didn't need it to be there, and I felt the film would have been a stronger film if it had ended previously. And my last little thing that I did not love is that this is a very cliche movie in the way that characters do meet their demise, and that also took away from the tension. And there is one twist towards the end of the movie that everyone saw coming from a mile away. All in all, guys, Alien Covenant is a beautiful film, and if you love the Alien lore, you're going to like seeing these creatures on the big screen again. And while it does answer a few questions from Prometheus, it leaves many questions unanswered in a way that I don't think we'll ever find the answers out. Alien Covenant was not a great sequel to Prometheus, and until the sequel comes out, I don't think it is the best addition to the Alien franchise. That's why I'm going to give Alien Covenant a 6.5 out of 10. As of right now, guys, this film might be tied with me for the 4th best Alien film. I'm not really sure if I like Alien 3 better than I like this movie, because I think Alien 3, while not a great film, does get far too much hatred among fans and among critics. Right now, I'm not sure which one I like more. I'm gonna have to definitely watch both of them again. But guys, thank you for watching my Alien Covenant review. I hope you liked it, and make sure to come back here to Razzle for more and more content being released here weekly. I'm Zach. Follow me on Twitter at IamMauer, follow Razzle on Twitter at Razzle Review, and have a great day.